Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. It's your host, Cyberdragon, otherwise known as Peter. We're going to continue from last week. We were playing around with the auto-equip message and the things you can do with it. But we had a bit of server issues during the stream, so there's more to show and things you could do with it. When it comes to gameplay. So yeah, I think that is what we'll do today. Hope everyone's doing well. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna jump into this window here so I can see the chat. And if I'm not loud enough or anything, just let me know. But what I'll do is I'll go over what I did last week and then we'll continue from there. So we put down a few equipments. There's 6 different equipment slots and we put down 1 for each, and we made it that you need to pick up all 6 to activate the quest, so the NPC won't give you a quest until they see that you've equipped all 6 assets. And then we've added individual things like glasses. So equipping some glasses will activate a mouse press, which will then trigger seeing different ghosts and changing the post-processing. Or having a particular different gear on can trigger different comments and things like that from NPCs as well. Or having all 6 on will open up a door. We'll just quickly run through that and show you what is what. So we put a little counter in the top left corner for equip. So when you go ahead and pick these up and press I and double click the assets, you can see that we've put on 4, which is the eyes, legs, arms and chest. We still have the sword and the shield to put on, and you can see in the top left corner we've only got 4, so we'll go ahead to equipment and put on those as well, and now we have all 6. And now I can push the middle mouse button down and we can have different things appear and disappear when the glasses are on. Same with the NPC. The NPC will give us a quest, so we can go ahead and accept a quest that we weren't able to obtain before until we put on our equipment. So if we go ahead and test this from the beginning and talk to the NPC, you can see the NPC won't give us the quest until we're wearing the full uniform. So you need to put on the full uniform to trigger the quest. So you need to actually equip it. We also have an additional armor piece, so if we go ahead and put on that additional one and then speak to the NPC gives a different line of text. You can even trigger a different quest or anything like that. Open up a door, send a message in any way that you want when you equip a certain asset. So you can see we got the right chest on. The NPC likes it and has let us through the door. And to do this, all you do is select your equipment asset. You apply the collectible component. So just click add component, make sure it's collectible. And what you can do here is on collision, it will pick up the collectible and put it in your inventory. We've put a sound effect on it, so when you pick it up, it does a little pop sound. And it sends the message collect. You can do anything here. This is a message that gets sent when you pick up the item, not when you equip the item. Down here we have on equip broadcast. So this is the message that gets sent when we equip the item, and this is what we're using today. There are many things you can do with this. So at the moment I have shown you that NPCs and post-processing can be triggered using the mouse system. So if we go to our game rules, you can see we have a mouse input you can find that here under triggers and mouse input. It will bring up one of these rules. You can select left, right, or middle mouse button. Here we can say when we push down the middle mouse, it will send a message middle down, and when we release it, we'll have middle up. We can also add another one. So we can duplicate this rule and we change it to right mouse, and we can have right down and right up. So now we have two different functions with the mouse, one with the middle mouse click and one with the right click. So let's do something with the right click and the equipment, the message on equip as well. So what we can do, and we've done it here, is when we trigger the eyes, so the message to send to toggle this on is eyes. This comes from the goggles. So when we equip the goggles, it sends the message eyes, which will go ahead and toggle this on. And what it's listening for is middle down, and it will send a message to eyes on. And this means that anything that's listening for eyes on, which is the active property. Actually, no, it's not the active property. Where is it? I did put it somewhere. Where did I put it? Eyes on. So it's to itself. So eyes on to itself, which goes to the switch, and it switches something on. And when I push the button again, it switches something on again. But each time it does shadow form and normal form, which is here. So shadow form will turn on the collision and visibility of assets with the tag ghost, and then normal form will turn off the collision and visibility of the assets with ghost. We also have two post processes, so it will turn this on with shadow form and it will turn it back off with normal form. What we want to do now is use the same message for the eyes. So we'll go ahead and duplicate, and it's going to turn it on with eyes. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do right down, and right down is going to send a message. All right, let's see. So we want to send a message when it's down and it stays on, but when we let it go, it turns it off. So what we can do here is maybe we don't need, well, we do need a switch, right? So what we can do here is have right down check. Should we do it that way? No, actually, let's get rid of the switch, and we'll just have the message broadcaster and toggle. So we'll have right down, and it will send a message right down toggle, and that will send to all. And what we can do here is we can duplicate it, and what we'll do here is right up. So basically, when we release the right click, we can say right up toggle, and that will send to all. Basically, we're going to send a message again to active properties. So I'm going to duplicate these active properties. Duplicate. We'll bring them over here. And what we can do here is we can have right down toggle, and it will turn on the collision and visibility. Or we can just do visibility. So not to do with the collisions. So just visibility. And it'll turn the visibility on to platforms. And what we can do is delete that, and we'll duplicate this one. and we'll turn off the visibility for platforms, and we'll have that as right up toggle. Cool. So what does that do? Nothing at this stage, but what we can do is like put a lava pit down, and we can go ahead and just say platform. We don't have a platform. Great. Maybe we can have a wall. Doesn't really matter at this stage. Just something for the player to jump on. Maybe a tile. Do we have big enough tiles? Yeah, we could probably do this. And what we can do here is we'll give it the tag platforms, and we'll have no visibility on this one. And what we can do is just have it floating up a little bit, and we can duplicate and duplicate and duplicate, 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 and just have something like this going on. And basically what's happening here, also we want to damage ourselves or kill us with the lava. So what we do here is we select the avatar portal, we click the health, and we can have damage in blocks. We can say 2000 damage, so it instantly kills us. And we'll click lava block. So now when we jump into lava, it should kill us pretty much straight away. So let's go ahead and test this out. I'm going to go and save that one, and we'll see how this goes. Good morning everyone, Escape Room Artist, Nervex, welcome. So what we can do here is when we push down right click, nothing happens, but you should still be able to kind of jump on platforms, but when we die, when we fall into lava, we die. And you can kind of guess when you know where the platforms are, but you can make them smaller and harder, and you can make them move. But when you pick up the glasses and press right click, nothing happens. But when we press I and double click, and now hold right click, you can see the platforms, and when I let go of right click, it disappears. So you can kind of like jump on here, hold right click, see where you are, jump, hold right click, jump, hold right click, and this is all using the mouse input and equipment message. And you can hold right click to view where you need to go, and when you let go, you can't see, and you can't move unless you let go, so it forces the player to have to estimate where the jump is. And that's another thing you can do with on equip. You can have little puzzles that require you to wear your glasses, which allow an activation of the mouse, which allows you to get past certain obstacles. Cool. Another thing we could do is like a giant. Do we have any giants? Any characters? Yeah, alright, we can go ahead and put this down. We'll put this over here, and let's just say you need to sneak past this giant. And what we could do here is we can have a probably like another numpad, because you can never have too many numpads. We'll put one of those down, and we can have like a speaker component, and we can detect entity, and we can detect entity with, I don't know, whatever range you need for the player to sneak past. So let's just say we need the player to sneak past this area. what we can do here is, what did I do? I thought I put a speaker on it. Nope, okay, let's put that on again. Must have Control Z that one. So we're going to put a speaker on that. We can put a speaker on this guy. And we can look at target when a message is sent and a message is detected. We'll go ahead and copy that. Okay, and we can make him say, I hear you. And he'll look at the target when the message detected is sent. So what we can do is we can have this send out the message detected when it detects the avatar. So we can have something like that. So when an avatar walks in this area, it will detect you and send a message detected. This guy will turn around and say that he hears you. We can kill avatar as the message, and we can go ahead and do a timed behavior, and we can reset that. We'll kill avatar. Then after 1 second, we can go ahead and kill the avatar. And to kill the avatar, you need to go to the health component and see what the message is. We can go ahead and say kill us, and that will get rid of us. And we can do that with this message here. So after 1 second, it should kill us. And we'll go ahead and remove the collisions and visibility of that asset. So now let's test that out. And when we walk past, you can see the giant says, I hear you, and then it's killed us. And that's it. Now we need the avatar to turn back around, or the giant to turn back around. So what you can do here is after the 1 second, you can say 2 seconds later, turn back. So after the kill us message, 2 seconds later, the message turn back will be sent. And what you can do with this is duplicate this speaker, put it in front of the giant, and what it will do is wait for message, and that message will be turn back. And when that message is sent, it should turn back the avatar. Let's go ahead, detected. Okay, so turn back should turn around to this after a second. So let's go ahead and test that. So you can hear us, we die. Then after 2 seconds, no, it's killed me again. Alright, we're in an infinite loop. That's not going to work. That's because this here, kill avatar, kill us, and then turn back. So kill avatar is the thing that's sending it. So it detects me, sends a message detected. This guy has detected, and when it does, it kills avatar. So we don't want turn back again, so that's not going to work. What can we do here to make him turn back? So he needs a message here to turn him back, but we also need the timer to toggle off as well. So what we can do here is toggle, and we can toggle it on, and it will toggle off with kill.avatar, which is being sent, or just kill us. So kill avatar, kill us, and then turn back. So maybe turn back is here, and we can use that to toggle off. So turn back, and we can turn it on when it turns back. Message to send is turn on. I don't know if this will work, but let's try it out. And then we can turn it on. Let's see if this works. So it will kill us. Nope, that didn't work either. Maybe the message is not being sent at the same time. So what we can do, it's word detected that actually changes it. So maybe we can, we need to split this up a bit. So we do need this one to turn back. We do have a speaker. Maybe the detected shouldn't be sending out the kill avatar message. So it detects us. It sends the message kill avatar. Kill avatar then does the timer. It does all of that, and then turn back needs to come here, turn back, and then turn on. Maybe it does detected, and then detected turns that back. Maybe we need another timed event. I think that might be the way we do it. So let me duplicate this, and we'll go ahead and put a timed event on this one, and we'll make it repeatable. So we've got the first part working, and what we want here is turn back, and turn back turns it off, so no more happens. After it kills us, we probably don't need to turn back, and we can turn this off with kill us, and then kill us. We'll then, after one message, send the message detected, which will go over here. And then maybe after 2 seconds of that, we could do turn on. All right, let's see if that works. So we go past the giant, and he never really turned around, and now we're in like this loop. So that's not right either. Okay, so we detect entity, it sends a message detected. Detected then detects us. He looks at the target that sent the message detected. Then sends the message kill avatar. Kill avatar then kills us and turns this off. And then kill us, maybe after 2 seconds, because this one here has detected, and kill avatar, so that shouldn't trigger again. And after it sends a message detected, we shouldn't send anything. Maybe this will work. Maybe this one is sending at the same time. So maybe we could say D2, and then we'll make this one D2, and we'll send a message here D2. Let's see if that works. That way they're separated. So it's turned around, he's killed us, and now he's turned back. cool. And now when we go past, he detects us, we die, and now he's turned back. Okay, it works. The thing that's sending the message is this thing, D2. So does that mean if we get rid of the speaker here, will that work? Control Z, yeah, we just did D2 for that one. So if we just have this in front, we probably don't need that speaker, but we'll test that out. So it's killed us, he's turned around. Yep, so that works. And what we can do, he's sending the message twice because we have the message being sent again, and the speaker likes to stack up on messages. So you can probably do like 3 seconds here to shorten it, because you die pretty much after being detected after a second. So if we do that now, yep, so that's good. And I don't think I can skip this now. We always get detected. All right, cool. Next thing we're going to do is use the equipment to bypass this. So we go ahead and do a plant, and we can send a message sneak. Is that how I spell sneak? It is today. So we'll kill this detection with the message sneak. And what we can do here is on our boots, when we on equip, we send the message legs. So we can keep that, right? So we go legs, or you can have a different set of shoes and have sneakers and have a different message called sneak. So you can have different equipments of the legs that change based on the message. So now when we pick up the legs and we equip the legs, you can see the message legs has been sent, and now we can kind of sneak past the boss, and now he can't see us. So you can have things like that that require an avatar to put on certain equipment to sneak past certain NPCs. So you can do rogue kind of sneaky stealth type of games. Hope that makes sense. It took longer to set up the rotation of the NPC, but you know, what can you do? You can even separate this speaker, well, maybe you can't, because you need the detection, and the detection is the same message. Yeah, so it's just going to trigger the message twice. You probably can make it shorter, so it's not there for that much longer, and you still see it when you get caught. And after the respawn, it's not there for very long. Because it just takes 1 second, maybe we could have it for 1 second. Will that be enough? Let's have a look. After it loads, there we go. So 1 second, it kills us, and after the respawn, it's pretty much reset straight away. You pick up the legs, equip them, and walk past. Cool. We can right click and nothing happens. We pick up our goggles, we put on our goggles, and we put right click, and we can see invisible platforms. We can push middle mouse button, and we can see different ghostly environments with different things. So you can have clues like numbers or notes on the ground or writing on a wall, things like that that cannot be seen until the player puts on certain equipment and pushes the mouse button down to make it relevant. So that's really cool as well. Hey Tom, welcome. So that's a couple of things you could do. So we're avoiding environmental hazards, we're triggering unique interactions, we're toggling between states, we have different NPC interactions. What else can we do? We got unique quests that can be triggered. Maybe we can create a class-based system. So putting on certain equipments will allow you to heal or shoot fireballs, things like that. It's probably good with a weapon. So let's play around with that. That one might be a little bit trickier to set up, but let's test it out. So we have our sword. What else do we have for equipment? Do we have like a wand? No. Do we have a staff? No. What do we have? Not many. I probably should buy some magical equipment, but we can use the basics. So we'll put down a pickaxe and we'll put down a large axe. They won't represent the spells. I prefer staves and things like that, wands. But yeah, we can go ahead and add a collectible to these. We can probably add a pop sound to it when it's picked up. And now we can send a message on equip. And same with this one as well. We'll just keep going as sword and we'll do some examples of this one. So here we can say weapon, and then we'll have a message argument, and we can add a number and call this weapon number, and we can call that weapon number 1, and we can call this one weapon number 2. And what we can do here is with the gameplay, we can have a variable, and we can have it as a local variable. We call it weapon number, and we'll have that as 0. Now we can go ahead and add a rule. So what we can do here is set number value. Weapon number is the variable we want to change, and the value will be the message argument. So when a player picks up a weapon, it sends the message weapon. It will set your local variable to whatever the number is in the message argument of that weapon. Next we have right click, so we're going to have write down. So when write down is sent, what we can do here is do a compare numbers. I use this one the most. Write down. We want to compare your weapon number, and if it equals to 1, we can say weapon 1 cast, and we can duplicate that. And if it equals 2, we can do weapon.2 cast. Something like that, right? Now, where does that message get sent? Well, it can't affect the weapon itself, because you can't affect a weapon that's been equipped, I believe. It doesn't keep its behaviors and things like that. We can go ahead and test that. Hey Tempest, thanks for the raid. Hope you're being well. How'd your stream go? More elevator issues? And yeah, so weapon 1, weapon 2, how do we do different things? That's a good question, actually. You'll probably need to use something like I have in the survival template I made that was released last week. So you have an on pick for each player, and that pickable is used to hold certain things, and then you can trigger certain things with it. So let me go ahead and make that again. So we'll just make something that is invisible. We'll have a pickable attached to it, and that pickable is interact. And what we can do here is we'll just see it for now. And on our avatar portal, we can add a sound component. And what we can do here is we can assign a team. We'll call that team 1. We'll have only max 3 players, and the tags will be 1. And what we can do here is play sound, and we can send the message interact, and we'll send it to and what we can do is we can send it to message to send. Is it message to play or message to send? I think it's just message to send. And we'll get rid of this, and we want to send it to specific tags in range, and that tag will be 1A, for instance. So we'll put that tag 1A. So now when we press tab and play, nope, that didn't work. So message on picked, message on drop. It didn't keep the tag 1A. Maybe I need to press enter. There we go. So now we have this pickable in front of us, and what we can do here is just make that invisible. We can bring it down a little bit and back a little bit. So now when we pick it up, we're kind of like, you won't be able to see it. Let me go ahead and put the visuals on that. We can now see it's more on the floor level, and it's more in front of us. And what we can do now is attach things to it. So 1A, pickable 1A, and we'll put down a numpad. And we'll go to our hierarchy, and what we'll do is we'll put that on to our pickable, and if we make that invisible, we'll make this one visible, and we can go ahead and we can add a message broadcaster, we can add a toggle, and we can add a VFX, or even better, projectile. Or is projectile a behavior? It's probably a behavior, isn't it? Alright, that's fine. We can, we'll do a VFX for this example. So we'll have that off, and we'll toggle it on with, weapon.1.cast, or do we want to turn it on with weapon? Weapon message argument, then we compare. Maybe we can add a send message. Then when we have weapon, we can say toggle weapon. And we can go ahead and do toggle weapon to see if it equals 1, and we can say toggle weapon 1, and we can duplicate this, and if it equals 2, we can toggle weapon 2, and we can go ahead and put that here. So toggle weapon 1 will turn this on, And then we can now detect the weapon.1.cast. So weapon.1.cast, we can send it to our self, and it'll be fire 1, and then we can send a message here to fire something, or we can have it to specific tags in range. And what we can do here is just have fire 1. And what we can do for that is get rid of the visual effect, and we will just duplicate. And what we can have here is the projectile. We'll put the tag fire 1. So fire 1 will come into here. And then we can have a projectile. So we probably want no force, no gravity, and projectile will be 0. So basically it's shooting forward, and you can shoot with full force, so it goes all the way forward, but it all depends on the speed that you want. And destroy after collision. Should the projectile be deleted after it has been fired? The answer would be yes. And the message we want to send to trigger this is fire.1. So we'll go ahead and put that here. And we don't want to, should the projectile wait for the message to be fired? The answer is true. And what we can do here is we can send a message health, and we can say -20, and you can edit logic, and you can send that health to specific tags in range. So if you want to hurt a specific player, you can add their tag, which could be 2 or 3 or whatever the avatar portal gives them. If you have multiple avatar portals, you can even assign a team, I believe. You can even have it as collided actors, so whoever gets hit will lose 20 health, and that's probably ideal. And what we can do here is duplicate this giant, and we will get rid of the timed event and the speaker and the toggle, and we'll give it health. Okay. So we'll go ahead and just quickly check that to make sure it works as intended. Hey Andy, how's it going? Thanks for the raid. So we can shoot with right click, but nothing's coming out. So let's pick up weapon 1 and equip it. And now we should be able to shoot. The answer is nope. So let's go ahead and check what's going on here. So why can I see only 1? That's because this is a projectile and I need to save this as a preset and then bring it out as an asset spawner. Message required should be nothing. So let me go ahead and call this projectile 1, and we'll save that as a preset. And what we can do now is get rid of this and have an asset spawner, and we'll call this one fire 1. So this is where the message will get sent. We'll bring the asset out a little bit, maybe like that. We'll use the preset. We want to do it more than once, and that should now work. Let's test it out. You can see we've got 2. Nothing is firing. We pick up our weapon, nothing is firing, and we'll go ahead and equip the axe, and now we have access to our shooting. And we've got a little cooldown with it as well, and done. So it will do damage based on what it hits. Next Next, what we can do here is duplicate this. Just make sure it's all attached. Yes, it is. This one here we can use maybe fire 2, and we can do weapon .2 cast. So weapon.2.cast, we can do toggle weapon 2. So toggle weapon 2, that happens after we put on our second weapon. It will send a message toggle weapon 2. So when we right click, it will do weapon.2.cast, which is here, and we say fire 2, and it'll be specific tags in range. And what we can do here is duplicate this. We can have no collisions, and we could probably have some sort of visual effect at the bottom. Just so you know, if you're moving something and you accidentally click something else, you can't get back to that asset because of the collision. You can just Control Z. Control Z also undoes an action. So use Control Z to get back your selection if you do misclick by mistake. So what we can do here is a VFX. And I think there's a healing animation in here. Fantasy heal. We can click play. So that will turn on with a message. So that one here could be fire 2. So we'll go ahead and do fire.2. And we can turn off with fire.2.end. So we can recycle this. So each time it's played, it does an animation like that. And with this message here, excuse me, fire.2, we could do a message broadcaster with everyone in range, or specific tags in range, or team in range. If you don't want to heal an enemy, you probably just want to heal a team, or specific tags. So you can do specific tags in range and put avatar, because I think everyone has the tag avatar, and the message to send will be health, and you can heal 10 health to the players around you. And you can broadcast range to be 5 to keep them tight, or 6 if you want like a more ranged healer. And the message needed before broadcast would be fire.2. And you want, I don't know if this is repeatable, so we're going to test that out. So if we right click, nothing happens. We put on our second weapon and then right click, nothing happens. So let me go ahead and check. So we've got toggle weapon 2, toggle weapon 2. Let me just make sure this is sending a number 2. Yes, it is. Awesome. With toggle number 2, we got weapon cast 2. So what we want to do is just check weapon 2 cast, weapon 2 cast. To tags, broadcast tags is fire 2. So if we check, nope, I can't access that now, so we need to go to hierarchy. This one, we don't have a tag called fire 2, so that's why it's not triggering. So that should work now. Let's see if it works. Nope, not yet. Let me just see what's going on. So enable at start will be false. So if I did that and right click, nothing's happening. When I pick up the weapon, it now does it. But you'll probably notice it doesn't do it more than once. The message to heal is sending, but the animation is not, because we need something to turn it off before it allows the replayability of that VFX. So if we go back to our VFX and edit the logic, you can see here we have fire to end to turn it off, and we have fire to. So what we can do is maybe after 2 seconds turn it off. So we'll go ahead to put down another numpad. We can probably have it attached again to the box, and we will have a timed event, and we're going to listen for fire.to, which is what this thing sends out. We want it to be repeatable. We only want to do it to everyone in range or specific tags in range. We just want to cover this asset here. And then after 2 seconds, we can say fire.to end. Is that what we put down? Fire.to.end. So let's see if it does what we expect it to do. So now when we push the button, it does it. When we push it again, it doesn't do it. Okay. So everyone in range, we just make sure it's been taken. Yes, it is. Message required is fire2, but this one here is only sending to fire2 tag. So we need to actually put that on our timed behavior as well. So we'll pick up our weapon, equip it, and do a heal. And you can see now we can multiple heal, and that will work. And what we can do to make sure we only do one at a time, we can do fire2. So we'll do fire.to, fire2 and fire.to, and then after 2 seconds, fire.to.end, we'll turn it back on. We also want to see if we can heal something, so we'll just put down a car and we will give it some health component. Just type it in, health, and we'll give it the tag avatar because that's what we're healing at the moment, which is fine. We want to see the bar on hit, and we don't want it to be stunnable. And what we can do here is just duplicate, make that invisible, no collisions. And what we'll do here is we'll have message broadcast, and we'll have the tag car, and we will have it send forever every second the health to be -2 to specific tags in range, which will be car. Okay, now the reason for this is now we can see it's been damaged. If we right click, you can see no heal is happening. If we pick up the weapon, no heal is happening. We equip our axe, and now we can heal, and you can see it's gained 10 health, and we can't use it again. We can't spam it. There is a cooldown, and we kind of broke it by spamming a right click. So there is ways to break it, it looks like. So that's something to keep an eye on. So even though weapon.to.cast Then this one here requires that. Fire to end. After 1 second, maybe we can say toggle on again, but if we use it straight away, it might not work. Let's try that again. So we can heal, and we can heal, and we can heal. So it's an area effect. So you can have someone pick up a weapon, equip it, and now become a healer. And you can have someone else pick it up and be a caster. So there's a few different things you can use the on equip message for. For different classes and different roles. So you can see it keeps working, but if you spam the right click, you're able to break it. I guess it depends on when a message is sent, or I just got really unlucky. Now I've broke it, as you can see. So there's a spamming issue with the messages being sent and the timing of it. I don't know the details of that or why that happens. So we got fire2.end, which is fire2.end. What we can do here is after a second is toggle HP or healer. So we'll toggle healer, and what we'll do is we'll get rid of that and we'll toggle healer, and maybe that might prevent the spamming issue. Let's see if that works. I haven't saved it in a while, but that's okay. It's just for testing purposes. So I'll keep spamming right click and just hope that it keeps working and see if it actually breaks. Yeah, I broke it again. So there's something to do with the spamming of the button and the toggles and the timers, which then disables it. That's a shame. Because then it toggles on, then it goes to the rule system. Yeah, so it goes from the rule system to here. Then it sends a message fire to, which then toggles this off. Yeah, I see. So this might end as the message here is being sent, so it doesn't replay on this timed event. That's what I'm thinking that's happening. So what we can do here maybe is have a delay, maybe we can have two different timers here, so we can duplicate this one, and we'll have fire to end and then toggle heal. So we can have here fire to end, and then after 1 second we can say toggle healer. So then this toggles on. This one will be ready, and it shouldn't cause an issue now, but I could be wrong. Let's test it out. So we'll spam right click again and see if we can break it. Looks like it's working now. So it's just because we toggled on the message broadcaster at the same time as the timer ends, and there was no gap between the next execution and the timer resetting. So I put in a second gap to let the last timer turn off properly and before the message broadcaster toggles on. And as you can see now that it works with spamming right click. So players can sit here and spam all they want and it won't break. And as I say that, I broke it. So now it's doing the same thing where it's not working, even with the middleman. So good times. And it'd probably be even worse on multiplayer because of the delays between actions and the rubber banding, talking to the rules, not to the to the rules, then to the server. So yeah, good times. Hey Ian, welcome. What else can we do with the on equip? Power-ups and health regeneration. So basically the same concept that I just shown here, but you can do power-ups instead. So if we go ahead and right click, we can go ahead and change this to power up. And you can do more attack power. So you can have like a paladin or some sort of buffing class. Oh, excuse me. Buffing class. You can do damage resistance. So you might have a warrior, and when they put on their shield, you can send a message which will increase their damage resistance, and for how long? 2 minutes. So you can have buffs with on equip. Speed as well, so you can move up to 30% faster for 2 minutes. You can even move slower, so you can even have debuffs when you put something on. So you can put something on that gives you slower speed, but allows you to go through something or sneak past something. So like the boots will slow you down, but allow you to walk past this boss, for instance. And you can do that with stats to modify, message, broadcast type, action. So you need interaction or collision for this. So what you can do is with the VFX, you can have the same positioning. And what you can do here is you can have that power up come out as something. So power up can be collision, which will then increase or decrease your speed. Let's just say it decreases my speed by 30% for 30 seconds or a minute, whatever the case may be. Let's just do 120 seconds. Requires collision, and then message on collision can be sneak, and it will do it to all. And then we can go ahead and save that. So speed down, sneak. We'll go ahead and save that as a preset. And then this should be attached, yes. And what we can do here is do an asset spawner. And when we do legs, we will bring out our sneak. So now we can make these invisible, no collisions, and same with these, no collisions. Just make sure it's all good here. Can't be seen, and this one here can't be seen, so it's all invisible. And we need to change the message on the giant, I think. So let me, whoop. Oh, that tab just shut out, sorry about that. Cool. Let me go ahead and change that to sneak. So to delete this detection. So if we go ahead now and walk past this guy, he will kill us because we are not sneaking. So if we put on the boots, you can see we've put on our pants, and now it's given us the debuff where we're walking 30% slower. And now we can walk and sneak past the boss. because it's used a message on collectible to give to the avatar. Now I can see it didn't really put it on top, so let me just go ahead and see where it offsets. Okay, so what we can do here is we can minus 0.5 and do minus 0.5. Let's try that again and see where it actually lands. So if we pick this up and then stop and equip, you can see it's in front of us, so we can really just walk away. So we really need it to be on top, so it collects straight away without needing to redirect. So what you can do is you can move this back a little, and hopefully that's enough to be right on top of the avatar. So when we go ahead and equip, you can see it's put it on the buff. We don't need to collect it because it's right on top of us, and we have no way of avoiding that because we're in the inventory menu when a message is sent. So now we have the slow buff, and you can use this method for other players to trigger this. So you might have a collectible like a coin or a shield or something like that, preferably a coin. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just a representation of a collectible item will do, and you can have different colors for different teams, and when a player from a certain team picks it up, what they can do is send a message, legs, and it will be sent to all, or it can be sent to specific teams or tags. So you can have different teams or tags on the collectibles if you have multiple of these for different players, and when the team picks it up, it can send a message legs. So now I'll show you an example of that. So if the players pick it up, it will send a message to this player here and slow them down. And you can do that for a whole team. So you can have teams now, because they're all holding invisible asset spawners. When a player picks up a certain object, you can slow other team members down. But that's not using the message on equip, but it's just showing you how to use this sort of setup in different ways. So you can use this method as well for power-ups. So you can maybe push, because it's only for 2 minutes, you probably want to be able to power up at any time. Maybe you have to push a button to power up only for a short period of time. So what you can do is just say when you pick up the eyes, you can push right click to toggle on visibility. You could probably have it so when you push number 1 on the keyboard, it sends a power up. So we'll go ahead and do that. So what we can do is not mouse input, key input, and you can say push number 1, and number 1 will be sent when you push it down. It can do a check, so let's see over here. We can duplicate this, and it will turn on with the message, just say chest. And what you can do is when you push 1, you can say spawn power up. In this case, we used, I forgot what we used as a message. So this one here, we had legs. So we can probably say spawn speed, and here we'll send a message to all, and or specific tags. Again, you can say specific tags in range. It could be attached to the box as well, but we'll just do all, and we can do, say, spawn speed, and that won't be on until we put on the chest. So if we go ahead and we push 1, nothing is happening, there is no issues. We just need to pick up the chest, go ahead and pick that up, and now we have the ability to spawn a power up by pressing 1. So you probably want positive speed instead of negative speed. You can have damage resistance or power up, and you can spawn at any time by pushing a button. So each time I press 1, you can see it resets the cooldown in the top left corner, just under the health bar. You can have it shorter, so maybe every 30 seconds they need to push that to keep the buffs up. So this allows things like, sort of like a bit like World of Warcraft, where you need to push a button on the keyboard to, you know, do cooldowns and do power ups and things like that. So you can do cooldowns with it as well. So let's just say this one here, asset spawner, it could be with a toggle, and you can have it toggled on, and when it's used you toggle it off, and then you can use a time event to say like 30 seconds or 20 seconds, and after 20 seconds pass it will toggle it back on, and you just send a message to toggle it back on, which allows the button to be pushed again to power up again. So you have cooldowns with on equip messages on this sort of like pickable thing that's always with the character, and you'll need one of these for each one. So we've got 1A. If we duplicate this, we can call this one here 2A, and we can duplicate the spawn point, and instead of team 1 we can have team 2, and team 2 can send a message to 2A, and now when player 2 spawns in, they'll pick up their own one, and here you can have individual tags and messages, so none of them interact with each other. And you can just go ahead and duplicate this, and again you can do 3A, hit enter, and you just duplicate the avatar portal, and you just do team 3 with tag 3, and on start it will send a message to pick up anything with the tag, is it 3A or A3? A3? Maybe I got it backwards. 2A. Yeah, I got it backwards. So 3A. So now the third player will spawn in and pick up their own, and again you'll have local variables that you can set for the player. Let me just zoom out. So with the weapons you can pick up instantly, so you can have an attached weapon here, so when a player starts it automatically picks up that weapon, which then sends them a set value, and that value is the only thing that's needed to trigger their own individual weapon by comparing their weapon number, or a local variable comparison, and you'll need one for each player or each weapon type, so they can activate their own weapons and cooldowns and things like that. Same with the equipment. If they equip a item, it's currently sent to all, but you probably want to I don't know what self or the difference is with self and rules, but you can say rules, and when a player equips an item it goes to the rules, and what you can do here is you can have a comparison, so it will send a message chest, and what you can do is you can have a local variable, and if it's equal to 1, then you can say activate chest for player 1, and you can duplicate this, and if it's a value of 2 you can activate chest for player 2. And then that can go to the specific areas instead of having what we had here is it sends the weapon for everyone. You can just have activate chest for P1. So now this specific player with this specific numpad will be the one that can shoot, and it won't affect the rest because it's going through a comparison of who activated it and then activates it just for them. So that's how you can individualize picking up a chest, going through the rules system, using the rules broadcast. It does a comparison of a local number. The local number here can be set using this here. So what we can do is when the game begins, team 1 will have the tag 1. So what we can do is we'll duplicate this. We'll have a numpad in front of that portal, and we can have a speaker component. And what we can do here is we can detect entity, and we can do specific tags in range. We will do tag 1, and what we can do here is go to our rules, and we'll say set number value, and we can say player number, or just player number. We'll do a number as a message argument, and what we'll do is local number, and the local number will be a message argument. So that requires the player's interaction. So what we'll do here is this numpad here will detect the player tag that has the tag 1, which will be the player that spawns on this portal, and we can now send a message that says player number, and we give them their own number 1. And that will be sent to the rules. And we can detect smaller. We don't need a big detection, just needs to be around the avatar. So if we go now to our HUD over here, we can go ahead, let me zoom in, and do local number, and we could say player number. Move this out of the way. Alright, so now when we do a test, we are on portal 2, and you can see our player number is 0. If we redo it again, and we are on portal 3, you can see our player number is 0. And if we go to portal 1, you can see our player number is 1. So all you need to do now is duplicate this, and what we want to do here is detect tag 2, and we want to send the variable 2, and we'll duplicate this again, and what we want to do here is detect tag 3 and send player number 3. So now each time that the portal is number 2, we get a local variable of 2, and if we are on portal 3, we get a local number of 3. So when we do send a message for the chest, so we pick up the chest, where did we put that? I have that rule over here. There we go. So when we pick up the chest, we want to check if our local number equals 1, then we can activate 1. If it's 2, we'll activate 2. And what we want to do is set the player value using this set number value. So player num is sent by this speaker here on detection. And that allows you now to individually compare that number and trigger different things. And that thing you want to trigger is basically the individual activation of the holder. This will all change in the future, and things like this won't be needed as workarounds, but you know, for now, this is how it's done, and this is the way it works. Yeah, but I think that's all I have to show today. I think that's quite a bit. Odd player equipment. So just to recap, you can't talk to this NPC unless you have a particular all a uniform on. So we can put on the whole uniform. And I think I changed something with the chest. That's okay. But we put on the glasses, so when we right click, we can now, and when you let go of right click, it disappears. So you got to remember where to jump, and you need the glasses equipped for this to work. If you fall in the lava, you get respawned back to the start. If you push down middle mouse button, we can toggle between worlds, which will then show things that can't be seen or interacted with collisions unless it's on. We can toggle different NPC interactions depending on what gear we have on. And I have a pickable on me, so I wasn't able to interact unless I spammed E, but we can bypass that with message on drop. And you can see he likes our chest piece and lets us through the door. We have the ability to sneak past the giant when we put on our boots and equip the right and have the right equipment, but I changed that message before, so that's why it's not working. But I showed how to do that just before. You can have collectibles that affect different players, so things can slow you down, kill a few things, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot that you can do with on equip message to really enhance the game, and it makes use of the equipment NFTs and gives them a purpose, and also has some sort of function inside a game, good for storytelling and things like that. But I hope you enjoyed, but that's all I got to show today. I pretty much went through a whole list of things with message and equip, so I'll be interested to see what you guys do with this and how you make interesting storylines and functions based on equip message. But I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if there's anyone to raid. Let me have a quick look. No one on my list that's streaming right now, so that's all good. It's probably late for a lot of people. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.